Most of us are completely overloaded with documents. Our computers are full of PDFs, presentations, web pages, and user manuals and transcripts. And it's up to you to make sense of all that information and understand how certain documents relate to each other. For example, maybe at work you need to prepare a presentation or build a training. That usually means manually digging through every file to piece together the information you need. Adobe is trying to fix that experience with something new in Acrobat Studio called PDF Spaces. Instead of treating your documents like static files, PDF Spaces turn them into an AI powered workspace, a place where you can bring together all of your content, ask real questions about it, get insightful answers, and even create role based AI assistants that help you understand what matters from different perspectives. Hi, I'm Garrick, and in this video, we're going to look at exactly how PDF Spaces work in Acrobat Studio. We're going to build out a complete onboarding knowledge space using materials like employee handbooks, benefits overviews, and training documents. And we'll see how PDF Spaces can use all of it to get you up to speed faster, help you make decisions, and even teach others. Then we'll take it a step further and look at personas, which let the AI respond with role based personalities to help you understand what matters in your files from different perspectives. So let's jump in and see how PDF Spaces can turn a pile of disconnected documents into something that actually feels like a knowledgeable, guided workspace. In order to use PDF Spaces, you need to subscribe to the new tier of Adobe Acrobat called Acrobat Studio. Acrobat Studio bundles all the standard PDF tools from Acrobat Pro, along with PDF Spaces, the new Acrobat AI Assistant, and Adobe Express Premium. Now, as of this recording, Adobe is offering early access pricing at $24.99 a month for individual subscriptions, and there's also a free 7-day trial if you want to test it out to see whether it adds value to your workflow. Now, one important thing to point out is that Acrobat Studio is its own subscription tier. So even if you already have a Creative Cloud subscription that includes Acrobat Pro, you'll still need an Acrobat Studio subscription specifically to access PDF Spaces and all of these other features. All right, with that said, let's jump over to Acrobat Studio and take a look at how it works. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Acrobat, and over here in the left panel, I have PDF Spaces selected. I don't currently have any spaces I've created, but we'll take care of that in a moment. Now, if you're just getting started and want to play around with some spaces, you can see there are some curated PDF spaces you can check out here at the top of the window. These are pre-created spaces that already contain files you can use to try out all the features. You'll find even more under curated spaces here on the left. And you can sort these by featured, productivity, lifestyle, or you can look at all of the different curated PDF spaces that they have available. But in this case, I do want to create my own space. So let's go back to the PDF spaces category here. And you can see here that it says you can add up to 100 files, links, and blocks of text to a PDF space. The types of files you can add include, of course, PDFs, but also Word docs, Excel or PowerPoint files, plain text files, web pages, and video transcripts. If the files you want to bring in are stored on your computer, you can just drag them right into this window. If you want to include a web page link or files from the cloud, click Select Files to open the full file import interface. From here, I could click Cloud Files, where you can, of course, access your Adobe Cloud storage, or you can click Add File Storage to access files you have stored on the cloud on services like Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, Box, and SharePoint. You can even paste in text you copy from elsewhere. Just give it a name here and then paste or type in the text you want to add to your space. If you have a web page you want to reference, you can paste the link in this area. And you can also pull in files that you recently opened in Acrobat. For this example, though, all of my files are stored on my computer, so I'll click Back for now, and we'll click Add Files later. So we've now created this untitled PDF space, and notice we also have an area here where we can drag in our files. And just so we can see this, here I have a folder on my desktop containing 11 different files for new employees of a fictitious company called Colvento. You can see that most of these are PDFs, but we also have a couple of Word files, a PowerPoint file, and here's one of those VTT files, which is a transcript of a YouTube video. So while these files are all related, we have a wide variety of file types. But that really is not an issue when you're working with PDF spaces. I'll just select all of these files and drag them here into Acrobat to create a PDF space from them. And now Acrobat is going to import and analyze each one of those documents. And after several seconds, we have our new Colvento employee PDF resources space. You can see it's even retitled the name of the space for us. Here on the left, we can see the list of the files we imported. I can click on any one of the file names to see the entire file. Here's that PowerPoint presentation. Here's another PDF, FAQs, employee manual, and so on. But over here on the right is where we interact with the AI about everything we just brought in. And I'm just going to give it another moment here to finish preparing this content for us. All right, and there we are. So a PDF space is not just a folder containing your related files. This is now a curated hub that gives you summaries, insights, and helps you understand what matters in this collection of files. Notice it's already given us this summary area, giving us an idea of what these files contain. In this case, it says Unlocking Success at Colvento, and gives us a nice summary of how Colvento empowers employees from day one. To the right of that, we have several insights where we can, at a glance, see things like onboarding journey essentials, a benefits and leave comparison, and remote and hybrid work guidelines. So the AI has automatically curated all of these additional insights for me. Notice there are also citations next to each line. And if you roll over them, you can see exactly which documents this information comes from. Clicking one of the citations opens that document and highlights the section so you can read exactly what's there. At the bottom of each one of these sections, you can add what's been generated to the notes section. You can see it's been saved to notes. So if I come over here to the left, that information is now listed here. You can also copy the text, so you can paste it into another document, or you can like or dislike the text to teach the AI the type of information that's important to you. And there's also an Ask a Question button in each section, which when clicked, takes you into the chat area. And down here, I could type in my question about this information. But before we do that, let's go back to the Insights area again. So down here, we have this other question area where we can type any questions or prompts about the files that we brought in. You can see it even offers some suggestions for prompts we could use, like analyze communication strategies from the workbook for a team improvement, develop a personal onboarding checklist based on Colvento's guidelines, and summarize key benefits offered to employees at Colvento. Or of course, you can start with your own question or prompt. So for example, maybe I'm a new employee and I just received all of these documents. So I decided to create this PDF space in Acrobat with all of the files. And now I might ask something like, what should a new employee expect in their first week? We'll submit that. And in a few seconds, I have the summary that tells me about the first day, the first week, and what to expect. It also included these other sections on additional activities, supporting guidance, as well as some follow-up questions I might want to ask. Or maybe I want to ask a specific question, like about Colvento's attitude towards remote work. But that information could be scattered around any number of documents. So I can just ask the assistant, summarize Colvento's approach to remote work. And now I get this thorough summary about remote work that's been curated from all this information across all of the documents we brought in. And again, each time you get a response, you can again save it to notes, copy the response to paste it elsewhere, or give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. And because this is a chat, you can continue conversationally with the AI, asking follow-up questions, and it will keep track of what you're discussing from question to question. So I might follow up with, can I use my personal computer for remote work? And there's my response. Now, bear in mind that the AI assistant isn't just there to pull up information and summarize it. You can have it perform all kinds of other tasks or analyses. For instance, I could ask it something like, how does the benefits package compare to other similarly sized companies? And it gives us that information. And maybe I'm interested in more information on the wellness program, so I could follow that up with, what are some of the highlights of the wellness program? and it gives me that information from across all those documents. So what we've built here just by dragging in our documents is a knowledge hub that also provides valuable insights and ties your documents together in ways you might not have thought of. And this isn't just for work documents. Maybe you're in the process of renting an apartment. You could create a PDF space for all the forms and documents the landlord sends you so you can ask the assistant to summarize and analyze them and check for red flags. Or maybe you want to upload all the user manuals from your home entertainment system so you can ask questions about how everything works together and how to connect all the different components with each other. The possibilities really are endless. Now, just to be clear about this though, even though the AI has general knowledge, it does keep the content focused on the content you provided. So if I ask it something like, tell me Colvento's stock price, it tells me that it can't provide information about the stock price as the documents I provided don't include any details about it. So it really does pull its knowledge from your documents, and it will tell you when it doesn't have a legitimate answer to a question. Now, so far, we've been using the default AI assistant in PDF spaces. It's a well-rounded persona for most use cases, but notice you can also come down here and click Choose an AI Assistant to select from other personas for specific roles. Rolling over them tells you what that persona is aimed at. We have analyst, entertainer, and instructor. So for example, I'll switch to the analyst persona, and let's ask it the same question from earlier about the benefits package. How does the benefits package compare to other similarly sized companies? And now the analyst persona gives us a response that includes a table breaking down the Colvento package, as well as the industry standard so we can compare the two. It then provides some key highlights, emerging themes, and potential areas for exploration. So the analyst persona gives us a lot more detail and some thought-provoking questions to get you thinking about other aspects of the topic that might not have occurred to you. Let's take a look at another quick example. I'm going to come up here to the Create tab and create another PDF space. I'll click Create PDF Space. I'll click Select Files. And on my desktop, I have a folder of 3 onboarding documents that I'll bring in. And I'll use those to create this new PDF space. Acrobat again takes a few moments to bring in those files and then create a summary and some insights. Now for this space, I'm going to switch to the instructor persona, which you can see is designed to guide learners step by step, define terms, and use simple language and encourage engagement. Notice that switching to this persona also updates the summary and the insights right away. So I might use this persona if it's my job to train other people. I could try a prompt like, generate a quiz based on the leadership principles document. And now it's generated for me this multiple choice quiz. Now, one thing that should be showing up here is the citations, and I have noticed that sometimes it takes a little while for them to show up. In fact, in the other space we were working in, I wasn't seeing a lot of the citations, but if I scroll back up, you can see that they've started to appear here. So sometimes it takes a little while for these citations to show up, but they will eventually show up, which is good because you can always use them to check the accuracy of what the AI is providing. So it quickly generated a quiz for me in this case. Or I might ask it to turn the section on communication styles into a teachable module. And it does so within the context of the instructor persona. And now I have this module I can copy and paste out of here and start customizing. So the idea of these personas is to interpret your content through a specific lens. The persona you choose changes what the AI emphasizes and produces. You might even want to ask the same question of different personas to see the variety of responses you get. And you aren't just limited to these default personas. You can click the menu here and choose Create Your Own. But actually, let's switch back to the original PDF space for this, since we have more documents to work with. And I'll come down here and choose Create Your Own to create my own persona. And let's call this Colvento Coach. And in this next field, you describe the persona of this custom assistant. Now, this should just be a brief, clear description that describes how the assistant should behave. So I might write an instructor style assistant that explains concepts clearly, creates training materials, and guides employees through onboarding, leadership skills, and communication best practices. Below that, you can click Generate Instructions to automatically create a list of instructions to guide your AI based on your description. It's optional, but worth applying, and you can also then edit the instructions it generates. And you can see what it's written to the AI here. Once you've done that, I'll click Save and Apply. And now we have our Covento Coach persona. So with this custom persona selected, I'll ask it to create a complete onboarding lesson for new employees using all the Covento documents in the space, include objectives, key talking points, a short activity, and a practical takeaway. And now you can see all of this content it's generated for me in seconds based on the information in the space. So that's the idea behind personas in Acrobat Studio. They allow you to shape the AI to match the task at hand, so switching personas changes the lens the AI uses, which can give you different details and perspective from all the same documents. It's a simple feature, but once you start using the right persona for the right job, PDF Spaces becomes a powerful and flexible workspace. Once you've built out a PDF space, you might want to share it with other people who could benefit from the information it contains. The great thing about sharing PDF spaces with others is that you're not just handing them a stack of files. You're giving them the same curated workspace you created, complete with the AI assistant that helps surface what's important, explains how everything connects, and what actions they might want to take next. To share a PDF space, come up to the top of the window and click Share. Notice it says you'll be sharing all the source files and notes, but any chat history you have in the space won't be shared. So you don't have to worry about anyone seeing what you've been asking or prompting in the space. Just enter the names or email addresses of the people you want to share the space with, and then click Invite. And they'll receive that invitation to check out your space. Let's go back to Share again. Now, we also have the option to share directly through Microsoft Outlook, Gmail, WhatsApp, Teams, or we can just copy the link so you can paste it into another messaging application. You'll also find some options under PDF space settings. You can choose whether anyone with the link can access and view the PDF space. So if someone you share the link with shares it with someone else, they'll both have access. Or you can choose invited people only to limit access to just the people you specifically invited. You can also keep track of who you've shared the files with. And down here at the bottom, you can click Unshare at any time to revoke access to the space to anyone who previously had access. Notice it also says here that Covento Coach was added to this space. This is the persona the recipient will use when they access the space, so make sure you've set it to the persona you want before you share it. For this example, I'm just going to click the Copy Link button, and let's switch to my web browser, and we'll paste in that address to see what this looks like from the recipient's perspective. And we see Welcome to Covento Employee Resources, and it's preparing the summary and insights for us. So this runs entirely in the browser and doesn't require the recipient to have Adobe Acrobat at all. And notice it looks pretty much the same as it does in Acrobat where we created the space, except this is the recipient's own version of the space where they can ask their own questions and get the insights that matter to them. They can come over here and click on the files to access each one in its entirety. And they can type their own prompts down here. And notice it says Custom AI Assistant because it's using the Covento Coach Assistant we created, and that's the one thing they can't change here. But now they can just ask any questions about the included files like, what should I expect in my first week on the job? And the Covento Coach persona provides the requested information. And once again, it does provide citations, so the user can check out the document for themselves. In this case, you can see it's pulled information from the video transcript. So you can see that by sharing this space with other people, even someone totally new to these documents can get personalized guidance without having to ask you for help. So PDF spaces are not just another way to share important files with others. They give your recipients a way to actually understand, explore, and learn from the content you're sharing. So with PDF spaces, documents are no longer static. Instead, PDF spaces supercharge your files with insights, personas, and guided collaboration so you can more easily make decisions, learn, and do a lot more with your files. If you found this video useful, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. So until next time, I'm Garrick. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.